What's up, friends and family? It's Brian Castrillo, and I'm here at work on my break, and I just kind of want to take a moment to reflect on we're actually here 20 years removed from the attacks of September 11th. It's crazy. It feels like it was yesterday, and I remember every single detail of what was going on. I was about a year removed from serving in the U.S. Navy on board the U.S.S. Constitution, and at this time I was doing security runs for the Worcester Common Fashion Outlet Mall. And so I'm walking down, doing my rounds throughout the mall and making sure everything's good, checking the fire extinguishers, checking the alarms, making sure, the mall was run smoothly like we were supposed to. And I'm walking by and I happen to look at Radio Shack, and there's a lot of commotion going through there and really loud in there. I hear people crying and screaming, and so of course I have to go check it out and see what's going on. And Radio Shack, when it was around, it still had, TVs running, and they had the news on. It was live, and you see one of the Twin Towers in New York City had crashed, plane had crashed into it. And at that point, everyone was thinking, this was a horrible accident. The people of the plane had crashed into it, and they had, there were brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, friends, mothers, fathers that we had lost on this. And then as I'm watching this, I see the second plane go right into the second tower. And at this point, everybody turned to anger, and they were pissed off. My boss, who is a former Marine, was shouting at the TV, because at that point we knew what was going on. And we're watching the news, and everyone's just getting pissed off. And we hear, of course, about, what had happened in the other plane that went down in Pennsylvania. And of course the Pentagon gets hit, and there was just anger amongst everybody. September 12th was the one good day that I actually, if I had to pick a moment that I enjoyed throughout this horrible moment in American history, was everybody. It did not matter if you were Republican, Democrat, if you were male, female, Jewish, black, white, Mexican. It really didn't matter, because we were all one. We were American. Flags were everywhere. Everyone was united. It was a beautiful sight to see. Everywhere you drove, there was flags everywhere. And I remember George Bush Jr., getting on with his megaphone, talking to the crowd, and showed brilliant leadership during this moment. And I just remember at that moment where everybody was together, we were all one, we were all Americans. It was a proud moment. Of course, we went to various wars with Afghanistan, Iraq, and ultimately we ended up getting Osama bin Laden. It took a long time, but we did finally get him. And here we are 20 years today, and we've abandoned 13 Marines, other U.S. citizens and allies, and the Taliban is in charge. These 13 Marines were killed. And it's surreal to know that the Taliban is in charge, the ones that we helped get out of there. And it's just sad. The one thing that'll never change for me is I bleed red, white, and blue. I love this country. It doesn't matter the leaders that are in there. I may not like the leadership that we have, but I love this country. I love my fellow American citizens. It doesn't matter who you are. We are all still one. I don't care what the different politicians are saying. That does not matter to me. We are Americans. I love my fellow Americans. I love the red, white, and blue. That flag will always mean everything to me. To my fellow brothers and sisters that we lost throughout the wars, to the 13 Marines that were attacked recently, I always got your six. I love you guys. You guys are my family. And of course, things will never be the same, probably. But I have to believe that we can come back together as one. We are Americans. We are all If there is one thing that we will always have in common, is that we are Americans. And I'm kind of at a loss of words to say. But do you guys remember what you were doing at that moment? If you were, I mean, some of you guys are young and maybe you don't remember, or because you weren't born yet, or whatever. But for those of you that do remember, I want to hear your stories. I want to know what it was like for you. Were you in New York City? Were you in Pennsylvania? Were you... tell me what was going through your mind. For me, I was angry. I was sad. A lot of emotions going through my mind that day. I lost brothers and sisters along the way to here, to we are 20 years today. But one thing that has never changed is I love America. I love the red, white, and blue. Politicians don't matter to me, but I love my country. God bless America. I love you guys.